Welcome into week 2 of our NFL and college football pick'em show here on the Slobberknocker Sports Network. Now, technically, it's week 3 of the NFL and week 4 of college football, but it's our second show, right? That's what we're going into?
Yeah, it technically is week 4 of college football.
Which is crazy that we're almost a fourth of the way through the season. It's sad. I told you I was depressed week 1. I was like, we're going to be done, but
it's flying by.
We'll be back stuck with fucking WNBA and
say that shit.
Lacrosse before we know it. All right. Before we, we'll start with the NFL, I guess. Do you want to start with the NFL?
Let's start with the NFL.
We did that last week. We will
hell not?
We will hopefully have some guest pickers on coming up soon.
For sure.
But I'm going to try, since we shoot this on a Monday right now due to our studio availability, we may have a guest on here this week. We may not virtually later, but we'll see what we can do. Anyway, let's get into the games. We'll start with the Thursday night game. Jets, Patriots. Both teams 1-1.
Patriots have looked a lot better than people expect. Yeah. I mean, they could easily be 2-0 right now, and obviously the Bengals came out flat week 1, but they really dominated that game. It wasn't a good-looking game, but they absolutely should have won that. Probably should have beat the Seahawks this week. It was a close game. And then the Jets have looked very, very pedestrian so far this season. But it is the Jets at home. It's the first home game for the Jets, right?
It is the first time. They had to play back-to-back games.
Back-to-back on the road.
Yep.
I think they end up getting the win here. I don't know how convincing it's going to be, but I do think they win the game ultimately at home. I think the Patriots will eventually come back. It's funny, 1-1 and say come back down to earth.
Right.
But Brissett's been playing pretty damn well. So
their win total was what, 4.5? I think it closed 4.5.
Could easily have 2.
It took a lot of money on the under too, and we're basically one play away from a 2-0 Patriots start. I mean, they lost in overtime to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Went into Cincy week 1, got that one. They have a tough schedule, man. They go at the Jets, at the 49ers, versus the Dolphins, versus the Texans. That Dolphins one depends on who the quarterback is, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll take the Jets to win this game. The line is 6. I wouldn't lay points with that Jets offense. Nathaniel Hackett, I mean, in the third quarter of that game the Jets played this week against the Titans, I was like, he's probably going to get fired if they lose this game because they looked horrific on offense again.
He's not going anywhere. I mean, Aaron Rodgers makes the decisions.
Dude, you think if they started like 0-3, they wouldn't fire him?
No.
I do. I think they would. I think they'd say screw it and say that he's gone. Dude, is horrific.
Then you're just gonna piss off Rodgers.
I'll tell you what. I'm not.
He doesn't run the plays he calls anyway. He does whatever he wants. It's just his buddy. It's like Nathaniel Hackett is like a Japanese interpreter to like Shohei Ohtani, or like a Japanese interpreter to baseball players. It's like he speaks Rodgers. They're buddies. He's around for the ride, and Rodgers calls his own fucking plays. Like he may give him suggestions, and Aaron's like, you know what? That's fine. But Aaron can check anything he fucking wants at the line of scrimmage.
That's true.
So he has full control of that offense.
But it is his playbook.
Nathaniel Hackett is, but Rodgers likes that playbook. It's what he likes.
Yeah, I guess.
It just is, but it's just what Aaron Rodgers likes. Like, you get Aaron Rodgers, his guys, and just, like, I mean, Nathaniel Hackett was there when he had nobody in Green Bay, and he would win games.
But Nate Hackett wasn't the OC at that time, was he?
I think he was calling the play.
I thought he was a quarterback coach.
LaFleur may have been calling the plays. Oh, no, he may have been the quarterback coach.
Maybe he was the OC and wasn't calling the plays. I thought he was the quarterback coach.
Regardless, but that's what I mean. It's just Rodgers has...
Well, the only reason I say that is I think, like, this offense in New York is not the offense that he ran in Green Bay when Hackett was there. And only time we've seen Hackett with his own offense was Denver for 1 year, which he did not last the entire year, and last year with the Jets where they were dead last in total offense.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree with you. I have no idea if the offenses are the same. They very well may not be. I don't remember exactly what they were, and I think you're right. I think he was the quarterback coach, but it's just all about what Aaron wants to run. And like I said, Nathaniel Hackett's along for the fucking ride. So as soon as Aaron Rodgers is gone, Nathaniel Hackett's gone. So it's not like he's sticking around.
Sure.
So, but it's like, I also think that it could be a complete dumpster fire, and Robert Saleh might get fired before Nathaniel Hackett, because Rodgers would be like, no, he's not going anywhere. Like, he's my guy.
That's a good point.
And Saleh has not been good. They have to have a good year this year to keep his job.
Well,
for sure.
And their defense just hasn't looked great so far this year. And I think they lost Jermaine Johnson for the season yesterday. I don't know what the extent of the injury was. I haven't looked, but I know he got carted off the field, and that's their best defensive player. They already are without Hassan Riddick, who's holding out. So that could man, I'm disappointed in what I've seen from the Jets. I know I didn't expect it to be great early on, but I thought the defense would be better. And
I mean, I think I even, for a fun, like a wild card deal, took them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's like, but they don't look anywhere near
what's
that.
funny is I like going into that matchup with the 49ers, I'm like, if they look good this week, I think they legitimately are a Super Bowl contender. And it was just the defense just got torched.
And Rodgers doesn't look near as healthy as he needs to be.
He can't move as well. If you had to go, I don't want to spend more time on this, but if you had to go over under 37.5 in this game, what would you do?
Go under.
Really?
I mean, it's coin toss.
No, you're right. I would too.
I would probably go under, but I mean, that's just to say that the Jets defense doesn't look good, but the Jets defense probably will look good against the Patriots.
Sure. Yeah.
I think you're looking at 24 to like 10 game.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, something like that.
I could see even like 21 to 10 Jets.
Yeah.
The Pats defense has played okay. They have not been bad.
Yep.
Okay, we'll move on to Sunday, and we'll look at let's see, what's the best game on the slate? Well, I'll just go down the list. I guess that makes sense. We'll just go down.
Yeah,
the
we
list.
can go through them a little quicker.
Okay.
No big deal.
And we'll stop on the bigger games or the better games.
Are you on ESPN?
Yeah, I'm on ESPN.
So it's going to be the same order. Okay.
So it should be Giants, Browns first.
Yep.
Okay, so we got Giants at the Browns. Browns favored by 6.5. Totals right around that same number of the Thursday night game, 38.5. Browns 1-1. Obviously got smacked by the Cowboys week 1. Comeback. Nice win on the road against the Jags. Deshaun Watson looked much better. He's not been great. We were talking about in
Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson looks like he visited a massage parlor this week. He's feeling that good. Got the win.
Now you see me, now you don't. The terrible towel. The Deshaun Watson special. Yeah. I mean, look, he was much, much better in this game against the Jaguars. Was he 22 of 34 for $186? He didn't throw an interception. He's only sacked 2 times. He ran it 5 times for 20 yards and ran in a touchdown. His QBR is still the 3rd lowest in the league. He's only above Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. So it's not like he's just turned the corner, but much, much better. Who wins this game? Giants are coming in off back-to-back losses. We talked about it on the other show, how they scored 3 touchdowns, didn't give up a touchdown, and somehow lost the game.
Keep it short and sweet here. Browns by 14. Dimes throws 3 picks.
Dimes throws 3 picks?
3 picks. Dimes turns it over 3 times.
On DraftKings,
2 to 3 times.
On DraftKings, you can probably get 3 interceptions for Danny Dimes at like plus 800. That's probably, no, maybe even more than that. 3. 2 you could probably get like plus 200, but 3 is quite a lot, even for Dimes.
Dimes is going to throw a lot of picks.
I'll take the Browns here.
More than likely 2, but I'm going to say 3.
I just don't know if I trust Cleveland to cover a big number like this. I mean, I guess I'll say by 7. I think it's going to be right on that number. I think Vegas is pretty right on that. Okay, Packers at the Titans. Titans 0-2. Packers come in. Don't know who's going to start. I would be still surprised if Jordan Love was the starter.
Malik Willis coming to beat his former team.
There's no way.
No, I think the Titans win the game.
They're actually favored by 3.
I'm going to say Titans by 6. Ugly, ugly game. A lot of running, both teams.
Now,
I think it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see Willis throw it more than 15 times again. Actually, for them to win, he probably will have to throw it more because the Titans' run defense is not as worthless as the Colts. So.
I think he's going to have to throw it more, too, because I think they're going to be down in this game. I think the Titans will score early. Also, the Titans usually are pretty good at home. If Jordan Love plays, would you take the Packers?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have the caveat. If Jordan Love plays, we both have the Packers. I don't think he's going to play either. They were acting like he was questionable last week. I think that's bull.
Especially since they got the win last week. I think this is one where it's hey, if we can go 1-1 with Malik Willis and you get an extra, week of rest, we're going to do that. So I think they're going to rest him. I think the Titans win by 6.
Yeah, that was a big win for them to get a victory over the Colts without Jordan Love. I'll say Titans by 4. It's going to be tied. Titans aren't good enough to cover a number by a lot. Okay, next one. We've got the Colts and the Bears. Colts at home taking on Chicago. 1.5 point favorite.
Stinker of a game. The Colts look so bad this week. I don't trust the Bears at all either.
I don't either.
You know what? The Colts find a way to win. Colts by 1. They're favored by 1.5. Colts I have no idea who's going to win the game. It's an absolute coin flip. The Bears, unless Caleb Williams takes a big step forward, I think the Colts. And Richardson's so fucking bad.
He's so bad.
Colts by 1.
I'm going to take the Bears by 3 only because
the defense. I mean,
the defense is, and the defense of the Colts is bad, and the defense of the Bears is good.
I mean, and Richardson could throw 3 picks.
Yes.
I mean,
now Caleb Williams could throw 3 picks too.
the Colts defense is bad.
They're bad. I actually like this, and I'm going to get to like my teaser of the week later. But I actually like this as a good teaser leg, a nice little advantage teaser leg. You can get it to 7.5. Anything over 7, right? Like is a nice
the Bears aren't going to lose by more than that.
You're not going to have the Colts cover a big number here, so I like the Bears, and I don't trust. I mean, this is kind of similar to like the Broncos teaser leg last week. Like, are the Steelers going to really win by margin? Probably not. So just take the better of the number. I like the teaser leg there on the Bears. I'll say the Bears win by 3, like I said. Okay. Next one. This is actually one of the best games of the week. We have both teams 2-0. It's in Minnesota, which is one of the tougher places to play in the NFL. Texans have not looked great in either win, but they got it done. The Vikings have been the surprise team so far, 2-0. Houston is a short 1.5-point favorite. Total in the game, 46.5. Who do you like?
Houston's going to get it done. They're going to win by a field goal. Close game, especially with Jefferson being questionable. Right? Who knows if he's playing.
Sure.
So I'm going to go Texans by a field goal. Yeah, they're just doing everything they need to do. Defense has looked okay, not great. Will Anderson's just a minute. I have a feeling he'll punish Darnold in this one. I think another couple sacks for Anderson, and the Texans win it by a field goal. Close game, though. The Vikings are playing well, though.
I'm actually going to go with your boy, Wes Phillips, and the Vikings here. And I just don't like what I've seen from DeMeco Ryans' defense other than Will Anderson. He's a menace. I mean, he's absolutely awesome. But the secondary is okay. I think the Bears' O-line is really bad, and Caleb Williams holds onto the ball too long. That's why they had 7 sacks. They're good, don't get me wrong, on the front there. But I think the Vikings, now, I will say, I don't know if you'll let me do this caveat, but if Justin Jefferson doesn't play in this game and they don't have him or Addison, then yeah, I can't take them in that case because they just have no weapons at that point. Like, if they have one of those 2 guys play in the game, I don't know, how long is Addison out?
They haven't said.
If
no one has any idea.
If one of those 2 guys plays, I think the Vikings win. If
the people at home think that's you're on the fence. You just need to fucking pick a team.
I'm picking the Vikings.
Okay, you got the Vikings.
I mean, it's bullshit that we have to pick this on a Monday.
You could pick the Texans. You don't have to pick the Vikings.
To pick this on a Monday and have no injury information.
You don't have to pick. You don't have to pick the Vikings.
Look. You want to make a Diet Pepsi bet on this? Because you never paid me my 6-pack, by the way.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I brought it over to your house.
No, you did not.
Your Diet Pepsi? For which one?
When did you bring
I brought
it over?
I thought I brought a bunch of Diet Pepsi over once.
I thought that was way before that bet.
Was it before?
I don't know.
Let's do it. Double or nothing. If I still owe, I
don't know.
You.
No, we'll call it. No. Because either way, you did bring Either way, you did bring a 24-pack over. So we'll call it a clean slate. We're each 1-1. We'll do Diet Pepsi bet. I get the Vikings. You get the Texans. If Justin Jefferson doesn't play, it's no bet.
Sure.
No,
we're not going to waste any.
I'm kidding. I'll take the Vikings.
Waste any more time.
I'll take the Vikings regardless.
Okay.
I'll take the Vikings regardless.
All right.
Okay. Actually, another game that could be 2-0 teams, depending on if the Eagles can win tonight at home against the Falcons. Eagles taking on the Saints in New Orleans.
We're going to be on a lot of different sides. I'm going to take the Saints. They're going 3-0.
I was going to take the Saints.
Oh, were you? I thought you were going to take the Eagles.
No, I'm going to take the Saints. I actually think the Saints will win this game.
All right.
We'll
see how the Eagles look tonight, obviously.
Yeah. And this line could move depending on what happens tonight, but another good advantage teaser leg. The Eagles defense looks really bad. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you have a chance to backdoor cover and get to like a 1, like if they're down 14 late, you can get a Derek Carr touchdown late. I think get this to 8.5 on a teaser leg. I like the Saints at home too. Eagles are playing their first true road game. Jalen Hurts threw 2 interceptions and turned the ball over 3 times in their first game. We'll see how they look tonight, but if this stays 2.5, I like the Saints with the advantage teaser. Okay. Chargers at the Steelers. Somehow, Chargers at the Steelers is a 2-0 versus 2-0 matchup. We're in Pittsburgh here. It's basically a pick 'em. Pittsburgh by 2.
Total 35.
Lowest total of the week. Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Steelers here just because we don't know about Herbert, and it's Monday. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, if the Chargers. Going back to the Chargers starting, but since we don't know that information and the people at home just want the picks, they don't want the caveat.
No, I'm getting a caveat on this game. I don't care. It's the quarterback.
Well, I mean, I would do the same thing.
If you want to say,
I mean, no, I agree. Look, I'll just take the Steelers. I think
even if Herbert plays,
no.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm taking the Chargers. If Herbert doesn't play, I get the Steelers. Look, a wide receiver, I'll say fine. But I get to we don't know the quarterback status on a Monday. Come on, nobody's picking. The line is 2 right now. That line is 7 if he's out. 6.5 in Pittsburgh. That's a 5-point move. He's worth 5 points.
Probably moves to 6. Yeah.
He's worth 4 to 5 points.
Who's their backup?
I think it's Easton Stick still.
What a legend he is. Another North Dakota. Not a lot of people know this. Another North Dakota State quarterback.
Well, I don't really care about North Dakota State.
Easton Stick. Oh, no, baby. Heineke,
No,
baby.
Easton Stick is second on the depth chart.
Heineke's going to play, baby.
You think it's Heineke?
Oh, yeah.
Well, whoever
it's going to be Stick or Heineke. Who knows?
Well, Heineke's actually, if Heineke I take this back. I will take the Chargers regardless if Easton Stick is not the quarterback. If Taylor Heineke plays, I'll still take the Chargers.
I don't know. Heineke's better than Stick. It's weird to have him behind.
I agree.
Anyway. All right, I'll take the Steelers.
Okay. Moving on.
Buccaneers.
Broncos and the Vikings.
Buccaneers by 10.
Don't you want to break down this game in depth?
No, let's just move on.
Bo Nix
Nix fucking sucks.
Go,
Baker's
Bo,
been
go.
playing, oh, God. Then
Bucks by 14.
Dude, this game, too, like...
Panthers at the Raiders?
The Raiders, I don't think the Panthers are going to, score on the Raiders.
I don't think so
They
either.
look horrible.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
This is just such a classic NFL line.
It is.
Because the Raiders stink.
They stink.
The offense stinks. The defense is
sure
good, fine. But the offense now with Minshew in there is serviceable enough that he can get the ball to Bowers and he can get the ball to Devontae Adams. So I just really don't. And even when we did the show, when we picked previews, I had the Raiders getting second in that division.
Yep.
Now, with the way the Chargers look, I don't necessarily think it's going to happen now. But, I mean, I still think they're at the end of the year, a 500 ball club.
Sure.
And the Panthers are an absolute dumpster fire. So I'll take the Raiders by 10 in this one. I think it's going to. Actually, I'm going to take the Raiders by 14 in this one. It's going to be 24 to 14, something like that. Hey, I don't even think the Panthers can score that many points.
Right.
Maybe it's going to be 24 to 7.
I don't think they can score that many points either, but I just think this is a classic NFL line, like you said.
A lot of people thought that this week against Chargers, though, when they were only 5 and they got beat by a gazillion.
Oh, I agree. A lot of people are going to be taking the Raiders in money line parlays and teasers, and Vegas knows that, and the line's still 6. Now, they were wrong last week. They were wrong the week before.
I think they're just overthinking it. I think Carolina's that bad.
I don't think Carolina wins by any means, but I tell you what, this is going to be a field goal game. This is going to be a so ugly, 13-10.
I just don't know how the Panthers can even move the ball.
Yeah, I agree, but I could see them scoring a weird way. Like a Minshew could throw a pick 6 very easily,
10
dude.
And 26-3. No, yeah, they're gonna have to have a defensive touchdown or something.
I think they find a way to score a touchdown, and I think they get one field goal, and I think the Raiders only score 13 to 10.
I think you're overthinking that.
I don't. I think 13 to 10 Raiders, and I think the Panthers stink, but I don't believe the Raiders are good.
They're horrible.
I don't believe the Raiders. I believe the Raiders will win 5 games this year. Okay, moving on to that was the
Donald
first
Trump.
afternoon slate.
Wrong. They just went in the fucking. Now they got all the calls.
Baltimore
they were down
stinks.
10. They were down 10 to Baltimore and came back and won.
They suck.
All right, Dolphins, Seahawks.
I'll give them 6 wins. I'll take it back. 6. That's it. You convinced me.
I need Tua to retire. God love him. I call him T-Rex Tua. I didn't want to see the arms. Yeah, I didn't want to see the T-Rex arms up.
T-Rex Tua.
I feel bad for T-Rex Tua. I really do. I was very sad when he got hit.
We actually were hoping he was okay. I feel bad for him.
Of course. No one has been to see anybody get hurt. And I think Tua stinks, but I hope he gets paid his money, and I hope he just retires. That's what I hope.
Dolphins are. I forgot to say them as the ugly because they were the ugly because they don't have a backup quarterback.
I guess they're Mac Jones. Who are they going to go get? That's what everybody keeps saying.
I heard Russell Wilson. If the Steelers want to go with Justin Fields, I could see that too.
And they could probably get the Dolphins would probably send a second round pick to get them to try to salvage the season.
They probably would.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think I could see that. But yeah, I mean, they're a disaster because you either have one of two things. You paid the guy $212 million, and he either in 170 of it's guaranteed, so he either retires, in which case you're out $170 million. He didn't play a single snap at the contract because this is the last year of his first deal. Or option B, he stays and plays, and you pay him the full $212, and he's worse than probably what you will end up getting in a rookie quarterback in the next couple of years because he's horrible. I mean, this is just the worst deal I've ever seen.
Well, he's just going to keep getting concussed too, which is sad. But yeah, I
it
don't
is
know.
sad. But I'm just
I
talking about it. Take away the concussion.
No. Yeah,
he threw 3 interceptions. No, this is the thing that I don't like. People only talked about the concussion. He was the worst quarterback.
Oh, he was horrible before going in there.
Horrible.
The Hawaiian Daniel Jones. Frank the Tank said.
The Hawaiian Daniel Jones.
He's a Hawaiian Daniel Jones.
I love that. Okay.
Ravens, Cowboys.
Oh, did we pick the game? Did you pick? We didn't pick the game.
Which one?
The Seahawks. I didn't.
Seahawks are going to beat them.
Seahawks. I'll take the Seahawks as well. I think it's going to be by. Assuming that Skylar Thompson starts, they'll cover. It'll be 10. Okay, yeah. Ravens at the Cowboys. I'm seeing that this line is off the board. Not sure why, but it was a pick on when I saw it open last night.
I'll take the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens too.
Win.
Yeah, Ravens are going to win. Cowboys suck. Now, everybody's going to pick the Ravens this week. 0-2. There's no way they go 0-3.
The Cowboys could easily win that
I could see them winning, but I'm taking the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson sucks. Yeah. He's horrible. He didn't deserve a single MVP. To have 2 MVPs in this league is a joke. Anyway, yeah, Ravens. Ravens by. They won't get blown out back-to-back weeks. Ravens by 7. Okay, 49ers at the Rams. Talk about a disaster. The Rams, 49ers lost last week. They're playing their second straight road game. Rams' first home game.
Yeah, it sucks. Rams really should have won game 1, probably. Blew it.
Yes, they should have.
And Naku is hurt. Now Cooper Kupp's got a walking boot on, apparently. 49ers will come in here and roll them pretty good, I think.
Yeah, this is
especially coming off a loss.
This is one of my favorite teaser legs of the week, too. 7.5. You can get it through the 7 and the 1. I just don't see any way the 49ers lose back-to-back. I know it's in L.A., but it's not a far trip.
And it's not a tough place to
play. Not
a
tough place to play. Give me the Niners by 14. Lions at the Cardinals. Interesting game here. Both teams 1-1.
Cardinals look, like I said, Rams, all kinds of injuries, and the Cardinals look good. Cardinals looked good the first half against Buffalo, looked good last week. I think the Lions... I think they're going to come back down to earth. I'm going to take the Lions by the line says 3. It's going to Lions by a field goal. I think it's going to be a close game. And if Jared doesn't turn the ball over, which he probably will, but I think they're going to, I think Kyler could easily turn it over too. I'm going to take Detroit by a field goal.
Exactly. Yeah. What a start to the season for Jared Goff. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions in 2 games.
Yep.
I was thinking about this when I was looking at these lines a minute before we started this. And I really want to pick the Cardinals. The one thing I will say, and I'll get to my best bets in a minute, but this total, I know it's high, but I could see a shit ton of points in this game. The Lions, like I mentioned in a regular show, they got in the red zone 7 times and scored 1 touchdown and 16 total points this week. Like, they moved the ball up and down the field in Tampa Bay. They just couldn't score, and usually they can. And usually Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th down, and he was so unconfident in Jared Goff that he just kicked field goals from the 2-yard line. Give me... man, I just don't. The Lions really lose 2 games in a row. Give me the Lions by 4, by 7. Cardinals, yeah, they beat the Rams, but that's a beat up Rams team. Chiefs at the Falcons on Sunday night. Chiefs right now favored by 5, depending on how the Falcons play tonight. Could move either way.
I think the Falcons are going to lose tonight, and the Falcons are going to win this game against the Chiefs. It just seems like something the Falcons are going to do.
I was thinking about taking them too, actually, but I'm going to take the Chiefs.
It just seems like an NFL, like a weird, Falcons 0-2, Chiefs 2-0, coming off that crazy win. Falcons defense on paper is not bad, so maybe turnover Mahomes. Mahomes has been throwing picks, and not to mention, someone mentioned it on X or Twitter that I was reading. It's like he threw another interception that got called back. Remember, it was Kelsey got held.
Yes, that's right.
Like it was not even part of the play.
Yes.
Kelsey got held and it came back, so he threw a third interception.
Yes, he did. And I mean, he legitimately would be tied for the lead in the NFL with interceptions.
Another stat I saw, he had since 2022, he's had 17 picks overturned due to penalties.
That is absurd.
It's like way more than double anybody else in the league.
That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
It's like 17.
Unbelievable. I mean, that just proves every Chiefs hater's point that they just get.
Maybe
every
it was
call.
2021. It was 3 seasons worth, but it's like
either way, it's just like that's an absurd number.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs in this by a field goal. They're not covering, but they're going to win.
Close game.
Yeah, close game. We got 2 Monday night games this week, and of course, the brilliant NFL is starting them 45 minutes apart.
Why?
They did this last year. It was in week 2 or 3. This was the week that they played.
They must have something at one of the stadiums, huh? Taylor Swift playing at one of these stadiums on Sunday.
Very popular.
On Sunday, that's like the only thing I can think of. Like, and they move one of the games to Monday night.
Very possible. But if you remember last year, they had the double Sunday night game, the double Monday night game, and it was the game that Nick Chubb got injured. Where
I remember that.
Yeah. That was a funny game.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah, classic. Okay. Jaguars at the Bills is the first one. That one's on regular ESPN.
Yeah, Bills are gonna win it. The dumpster fire in Jacksonville continues. I think it's going to be a fairly close game. I want to say Bills by a field goal, but Jacksonville loses again, and you get closer and closer to Doug Peterson being gone.
Yeah, no, they're going to lose, and the Bills are going to win this game at home, but I agree. The Jags don't normally get blown out. Like, it's always like they always find a way to lose.
Find a way to lose close games. Yep.
They did beat the Bills last year, but it was in London. And that kind of started the Bills like down spiral where they almost missed the playoffs. But I'll go with the Bills. I agree, it's gonna be tight. Bills by like, I'll say 3 because it's the most common number. Bills by 4. Bills by 4. Okay. Commanders at the Bengals is the last game on this week 3 slate. Commanders are a 7.5-point dog. Bengals trying to avoid going 0-3. Do they?
Yeah, they'll win the game.
They're going to win the game.
Season on the line.
Yeah, season on the line for sure. Cincinnati is actually going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. I love what I saw from Joe Burrow this week. He looked much, much better. They'll be fine. They're going to win this game, and then they're going to win, I believe, the next 4 games. Like, they're going to win 4 or 5 games in a row. Their only real tough game the next 5 is the Ravens. They go the next 4. Commanders, Panthers, Ravens, Giants. They should win at least 3, if not 4, of the next 4. All right. For NFL, since we're doing a pick'em show, I'm going to give you my teaser of the week. And I teased the teaser a little bit as we were going through this. But I'm going to go with a 2-team 6-point teaser. We're going to take the 49ers through the 7 and the 3. We're going to take them to 1. If you don't know what a teaser is, basically, you're going to take 2 teams, same way a parlay is. Both of these teams have to win their bet, right? And we're going to take whatever the spread is, and we're going to get 6 points on each one. So let's say we're going to take the 49ers. They're a 7.5-point favorite. They only have to win by 1.5, by 2, right? So I get 49ers minus 1.5, and I'm going to pair them with the Bears plus 7.5 against the Colts. That's going to be my teaser of the week. And we took the Bears from 1.5 to 7.5. Now, those are key numbers. I would not take the Bears if they were 7. It has to be 7.5. I want the hook so that if we lose by a touchdown, I win the bet. Again, both of them have to hit, but I like that teaser. I don't see the Colts with their defense covering a number over a touchdown, and I think the 49ers bounce back here. So that's my teaser of the week here. We're going to go with 49ers and the Bears. Do you have and I know I'm putting you on the spot right here, do you have a Survivor League special here where if you had to pick one team to win outright this league for somebody this week who's a survivor for Survivor League, who would you take in the NFL if it was one single pick? There's a couple of 7-point favorites this week. There's not an overwhelming, like, 10 double-digit point favorite.
If I had to take somebody, just take the Buccaneers. There's no way the Broncos could beat them.
That makes me think the Broncos could beat them because that's what everybody's saying. But yeah, I agree. You're right. They're going to win.
Everybody's going to either be on that one or the Bengals.
Yes.
For sure. But with the way the Broncos have looked, man, I agree. I don't know how, and I don't even think the Bucs are that great, but the Bucs are going to be able to move the ball on them, and the Broncos can't move the ball. They can't do anything.
I agree.
Buccaneers defense has been okay so far. So, that or the Bengals. If I was thinking of, you just had to move on in advance and not thinking about, the rest of the deal. Or you could even take the Seahawks.
That was my other one. And I was
Skylar Thompson, but I'm sure a ton of people are going to be on Seattle, especially at home, too.
And I don't think Seattle, I think Seattle is a team who could lose a game like that. I just think Skylar Thompson's so bad.
Yeah, if it is Skylar Thompson going to Seattle, I think Seattle's probably the pick, honestly.
I would go with Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't think you burn the 49ers this week just because they're going to play, let's see. They play the Bears at home later this season.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Niners, too. Yeah.
Man, honestly, this is the thing. The Niners play the Patriots next week at home. That's a lock. So
yeah,
I would save the Niners since they're on the road, even though I think they win probably. I think I would, if I had to pick one team who was going to win, I probably would pick them, but I would save them. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks on that one, too, for our Survivor League special. All right. Do you have, are we going to move on to college here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to college. Let's start, before we get into the games, Do you have an underdog of the week for us here? Underdog special. Who's a double-digit dog who's going to win outright this week?
I think we have the same one. I know it's going to be, I think, one of your best bets, but
It is.
I think Georgia Tech can beat Louisville. We just don't know anything about Louisville. We know that Georgia Tech beat Florida State, who's not a good team, right? We know that they took care of business against Georgia State in fairly convincing fashion. And I mean, Georgia State could have stayed within the number of that game. I remember yelling at the TV screen.
Yes.
But Georgia State beat Vandy, right, this week. So, I mean, they're an okay team. Lost a very close game, coin toss at Syracuse, lost that, beat up on VMI. I just think it's a close game and they could potentially win.
Sure.
I'm with you. I know that you're going to tell people at home that's one of your best bets. 10.5, right?
10.5 is going to be one of my best bets.
There you go.
Now, it's 10 on ESPN bet. It's
Whatever.
probably 10, but I got it at 10.5 last night because I get ahead of the
All
line
right,
moves.
Payne. Cool.
I get ahead of the line moves,
Yeah,
right?
cool, Payne.
CLV.
Yeah.
I'm Payne Jr. over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would go with it. If I had to pick a double-digit dog, I would go with the same thing, and that's gonna be. I'm gonna get into my best bets as we go. I'll do a segment on them.
Yeah,
at the
do a
end.
segment. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one that I really like too. I think I like Haynes King. Like you said, what do we know about Louisville? They played Austin Peay and Jacksonville State, right? Or it's just like we just don't know nothing about them.
And like we said, we don't know, I guess, a ton about Georgia Tech either because we thought that Florida State
Sure.
win meant something.
Sure.
And I would say that the Florida State win did mean a little bit more than these other two.
Absolutely.
Just because Florida State thought they were good at that time.
And
right?
that
Yeah,
matters.
yeah.
It matters.
Yeah.
And the game was on a neutral
The
field.
confidence and actually thinking you're good, right?
Yes.
But so that means a little bit more. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe Louisville is the real deal. Who knows?
Absolutely. I think it's like you said. Who do we have more information on right now? Georgia Tech. We're catching double digits. Yeah, it's on the road, but
Yep.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
And this is a 2:30 game. It's not a night game, so I think those night games tend to be more rowdy. I actually think 2:30 might be the worst time for a game for like a home environment, only because 11 everybody's up and drinking early and they're still excited and it's fun. And at the nighttime, like they've been boozing all day and they're probably getting a second win. But in the middle of the day, you kind of start to hit that wall and it just, I don't know. I think that's probably the weakest spot to play for home field advantage. Okay. Let's talk about some of the games this week. We don't have really a legitimate Thursday night game, but we do have a very good Friday night game, and that is a Big Ten special on Friday night. And that's Illinois, who is ranked for the first time in a very long time under Brent Bielema, traveling to take on Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers, who are also ranked in the top 25 for the first time in a long time. Both teams 3-0. First Big Ten game. Nebraska is shockingly favored by 8.5 here. I know they're at home. That's a big number for a team that has not been ranked and not been favored like that in a long time.
I'm going to go crazy here. I think Nebraska wins this game. Don't know if they cover the number, but I'm looking at their schedule. I think Nebraska's going to go to the college football playoffs.
Stop.
Going nuts.
Stop.
Bold prediction. Look at who they play. If they win this game, they're going to roll Purdue. They're horrible. They're going to beat Rutgers. I think they'll beat Indiana.
At Indiana is not an easy one.
No. They have to win that game.
Yeah.
Right. Ohio State.
It's a loss.
For sure. UCLA is a win.
UCLA is a win. USC's a coin flip.
If they can beat USC, I think they'll beat Wisconsin and Iowa.
Iowa at Iowa last game will be a coin flip too.
They may be an underdog even in that game. I'm just saying. But even if they do that,
10-2.
Say they lose 2 games.
Right.
And in both the losses to Ohio State in a close game and USC in a close game, there's still a shot they'd get into the playoff.
100%.
So I just think that I don't think they're going to lose 3 games. I think there's like a 25% chance they only lose one, maybe a 20% chance they only lose 1, and there's a good chance they only lose 2. And if they could win that USC game and they lose at Iowa by like a field goal or something like that, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I wish they played Penn State because I think Penn State's, we don't know a lot about Penn State, but I think they're overrated like they usually are.
They probably
So if
are.
they had Penn State on the schedule and got to beat them and had that as a quality win, that'd be really good. Now, I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State, and it's going to be tough. Like you said, USC, Wisconsin, they should beat at home, obviously. And then at Iowa, like, you're going to have to win. You're going to have to go 2-1 on that stretch at the very worst, and see. But I could see a road for them. I think they're pretty good, man. The defense looks good. Not sold on the offense, but
Yeah,
we'll see how they look against Illinois.
Definitely better offense than they've been, but I'm not sold on them either. Also,
and obviously that's a long shot, right? I mean, they're probably like 5-1,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely, at least maybe more.
Yeah.
But you are right. Like if there's a bold prediction you can make that is realistically possible, they have a path to it, no doubt. It's interesting because I wonder if, let's say they lose 2 games. Let's say they lose to Ohio State and USC. I think there's a chance they don't get in at 10-2 because a 9-3 SEC team with a much stronger strength of schedule, if their best win is Illinois at home or Indiana on the road, then it's going to be tough to sell over an SEC team. But it just depends. Again, how does it play out?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think the one thing that they have going for them is a name on the front of the jersey. College football would love to get Nebraska in the playoff.
Their fan base is crazy.
If it comes down to like them or a 3-loss Missouri, I think they're going to try to put Nebraska.
Probably so.
Yeah. And Missouri will get screwed, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It's a very bold prediction, and it's more than likely not going to happen, but I just see that there actually is a path for them because it doesn't. But they have to, starting with this game, they have to win this game.
So all that said, I'm going to pick Illinois. No, I'm just kidding.
Do it.
No, I'm taking Nebraska. I like Nebraska, and I'm rooting for them too. I actually think it'd be awesome if they got in the playoff.
Yeah. Raiola's a weirdo, acting like Mahomes everywhere he goes.
He wants to be Mahomes so bad. Like,
it's like going to the silent. Just
so
everything he does.
Everything he does.
And Mahomes was nice about it. He's like, no, man. He's like, I get it. He's like, when I was younger, I tried to emulate all the other quarterbacks the best I could.
That's a little bit, taking it a little bit far. He's got the same hairdo.
Dude, he looked, like with the rolling. I mean, just looked just like him.
He's trying to be him.
He's trying to be him. And I mean, I don't think he's. And he's basically told people that too. I think it's not like he's trying to hide it. It's like, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to accomplish.
I'm gonna take Nebraska by. I think this is a tight game. I'll say they win. Like they're tied and they score a late touchdown to win it by 7.
I honestly think they're gonna win by 7 too.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna blow them out.
I don't either. There is I guess just quickly. There's an ESPN game that night too. Stanford at Syracuse.
Syracuse is going to be.
I'll take Syracuse too. Stanford plus 9.5. I just saw that. Wouldn't make it a best bet, but I like that. I think Stanford keeps that close. Syracuse coming off a big win. I know they're off a bye. Stanford hung with TCU really well earlier in the year. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. We're not going to pick Ohio State Marshall. That's a blowout. Okay. Here, quickly. This just helps us get a winner on the book for our picks.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Clemson, NC State.
Clemson.
Okay. Florida at Mississippi State, both 1-2. For this is the
dumpster fire game of the week.
The dumpster fire game of the week. Florida is a 5.5 point favorite somehow.
But dude, they just got rolled at home by. This is the game that. Let me look at this real quick. Let me click on Mississippi.
I kind of think.
You know what? This is the game that. After losing at home to Toledo, Florida actually thinks they're going to beat these guys, and Mississippi State wins this game by like a field goal.
Gosh, I was going to say the same exact thing.
It's going to be close, but that's the way it's going to play out, and then Napier gets fired. This is nail in the coffin.
I'm going to say the same thing. I think Mississippi State wins this game by a field goal. I
close,
think
ugly fucking game.
Ugly game. Like 13-10 or 16-13, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the defenses are so bad on both teams that like there might be some points, but it's just going to be, I don't know. It's going to be, they even have a total of 57. So like they expect it, I guess, because their defenses are both bad.
I guess because Mississippi State gave up 41 to Toledo at home.
I do think Mississippi State, I mean, like I said, is ugly. Yeah.
Look, Florida could go in there and beat the doors off them.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I just don't think so either. I think Mississippi State's going to. I think both teams are going to not be able to throw it, and they're going to lean on the run game a lot, which is going to be. Looking at that, there's another one that I haven't bet this, and I wouldn't say it's a best bet, but I have a hard time believing that goes over 57.5. That's a big number. I mean, that's a touchdown and a half more than what Texas Tech and North Texas were last week. Like that's 10 points more than that game. Like I'm sorry, less. I mean, that's a big number to cover for two bad teams. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I'm going down the list here. Really shouldn't. Okay, Houston at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, 5.5 point favorite. They're one of the ones who blew that game to Pitt a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati by a field goal.
I'm going to take Houston in an upset here.
They could definitely do it. I thought about picking them. I don't know. They just played Oklahoma tough, obviously.
No, they did, and I think they talent-wise are not good, but I think Cincinnati's on a downturn. I don't like what's going on there. And Houston got Willie Fritz from
Tulane,
who I like a lot.
Sam Houston State, then Tulane.
Yes, Sam Houston State, then Tulane. I think I think Houston is going to be a type of team that's going to be better at every game. As the year goes on, they will be better and better because he's a really good coach. And I think this was one that I bet last night, 5.5. I took Houston plus 5.5. Don't like Cincinnati whatsoever. Okay. This is a big game for both these teams, Kansas and West Virginia. It's their Big 12 opener. Both teams still have the Big 12 out in front of them. Any college football playoff hopes are probably gone. It's a 2.5-point spread. West Virginia's favored by 2.5.
This is a tough game to pick. This is one that you absolutely, I think, should not bet if you're.
I'm not touching
if you're doing that at home.
Flipping a coin. Basically.
I'm going to take West Virginia at home by a field goal. I think you're going to see homeboy Williams throw a. I think you're going to see Daniels, right?
Jalen Daniels.
Throw a couple too many picks. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I agree.
That was a long story, short story long there.
Well, we watched UNLV run the quarterback draw 18 times in a row on Friday night, and it worked almost every time. So with a running quarterback for West Virginia and Garrett Green and a ground attack that they lean on a lot, I'm going to say West Virginia wins this game by a touchdown. I think Kansas is going to have a disaster year and look like more of the old Kansas, losing that OC. I told you at the beginning of the year, lose Andy Kotelnicki, the OC, is a big loss. People didn't know who he was, but that's a tough one. Moving on, having to scroll down here quickly. Let's go to a ranked versus ranked matchup. We've got Michigan, number 11 Michigan number 11 USC traveling to number 18 Michigan. USC is laying 5.5. That is a big number for a team that was not ranked in the preseason top 25.
You know, it's weird because I actually like USC. To me, this seems like a spot that they're going to lose in. I don't know why. I think Michigan's going to win this game by a field goal.
We really do think on the same wavelength.
I think they're just going to pound the rock the entire game. I don't think Michigan's defense is any good, and I actually really do like USC. Just to me, it just seems like a spot that USC loses. Michigan by 3.
I 100% agree. I was leaning Michigan the whole way. I wouldn't be opposed to taking them on the money line at close to plus 180 probably.
I guess if you were going to... If you're at home and you were going to bet it,
I would take the money line too. I would take both.
I don't know. I just think that it's it just depends how. Because the thing is, LSU really isn't that physical.
That's exactly
team,
it.
And Michigan is a physical team, but you can't. If you look at Texas defense, you can't run the ball against Texas.
Right.
I think they can run it somewhat effectively against USC. So yeah, Michigan by 3.
Yeah. You look at LSU against USC, 4.5 yards per carry, 25 carries for $113, and that's including sacks. So they actually ran it even more efficiently. So I think that you're 100% right. Michigan is going to be able to run the ball down USC's throat. I 100% agree with you. What is LSU? They should have lost to South Carolina this week, 100%, who I think is horrible. You know, and besides that, they beat Utah State 48-0. Okay, and that first game was they're hyped for it. It's a neutral game. This is a completely the first true road game. You have Miller Moss, who's never made a start in a place like this, ever. Going to the big house. Look, Texas had a very veteran quarterback in Quinn Ewers. And still, he is the reason they won that game. As much as I like Arch, Quinn was awesome in that game. Yes, the defense was great, but he was able to just move the ball down the field very easily. Even though Michigan's secondary is young, they still have Will Johnson, who's the best cornerback in the country, who's going to take away the best receiver for USC. I think Michigan wins this game outright, too. I'm going to say Michigan actually wins this by a touchdown. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they ran away with the game. Okay, moving on. I got off my sheet here. Let's see.
Georgia Tech, Louisville. It's next on the list.
Are you going to pick Georgia Tech?
I'll pick Georgia Tech.
I will, too.
Why not?
We'll take them. We'll both take them. Dude, did you see who is ranked in the top 25?
Northern Illinois.
See
them right there. They're a good team.
We're going to both pick them here to beat Buffalo.
They're just solid.
Yeah, we'll both take them. Okay, Arkansas at Auburn. Auburn minus 3.
Arkansas by 7.
Oh, man.
I think Arkansas.
I want to take Arkansas.
If you think about it, so I was unsure. Okay, I was unsure on Oklahoma State, right? Well, when you look at Oklahoma State, obviously you had that best bet thing in Tulsa because we didn't know anything about Oklahoma State really, and they beat the fucking wheels off.
Yes,
they killed them. Then they took care of business against South Dakota State, who's a very good FCS team, beat them pretty handily. Arkansas should have absolutely beat Oklahoma State. Outplayed them that game.
Outgained them by 300 yards.
They came out flat this week against UAB. I think they were down 10 at one point, came back to win the game by 10. I think Arkansas is a much better team than Auburn.
I agree with you.
It's going to be tough going on the road, but I'm going to take Arkansas.
That's my one issue here is Auburn's already lost at home. If Hugh Freeze loses another game at home, it's going to be like he didn't anticipate losing his job this year.
They lost to Cal.
He lost to Cal at home.
Yeah, Arkansas is going to beat them.
I have to take Arkansas here, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I think I could see Auburn winning. I probably wouldn't bet this game, but I agree with you. Arkansas is the better team.
Arkansas is a better team. Yeah, sure. If they're going to win on the road, that's a different story.
Don't like it on the road, but I agree with you 100%. Okay, Rutgers at Virginia Tech. Pick it quickly, I guess.
I'll take Virginia Tech.
I'll take, I know this isn't, it's hard to win in Piscataway, but I'm going to take Rutgers even in Virginia Tech. I'm taking Rutgers at Virginia Tech. Give me Butgers by a field goal. Arizona State at Texas Tech.
I'm a sucker. I'm going to take Texas Tech at home.
Wow.
I'm going to do it. I think they're going to get back to running the ball, which they did, open up stuff, and then play. I mean, like I said, I think North Texas is bad, but I think that helped their confidence. So I'm going to take Texas Tech.
Morton is so fucking bad.
It's terrible.
But they play better at home. I'll take Texas Tech. Arizona State, though, is huge coaching advantage. Kenny Dillingham is a way fucking better coach.
Yeah, he's annoying. He bitches the whole time on the sideline.
Oh, 100%. He's annoying, but I mean, he's better.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess Memphis and Navy are both undefeated. I'll take Memphis in this game. They're 9 points favorites.
Yeah, Memphis.
Okay. Let's see. UCLA at LSU.
That's 25-point spread.
Oh wow! I can't believe that is a.
LSU's
is it really
them.
That's
crazy.
What it
says. Yeah.
Okay. Utah at Okie State.
Another one. Actually, you know what? Just give me Oklahoma State.
I take Utah.
I mean, I think Utah's better, but we don't know about rising. And Oklahoma State's the one thing I will agree with you on, they haven't been able to run the ball near as well as people thought. So,
Ollie Gordon has run I think it's 3 yards a carry in 3 games and is averaging 30 yards.
Yeah, I don't get it. I do think Utah's a better team, but I'm going to take the Pokes at home.
I'm obviously gonna get screwed here if Rising doesn't play, but I'm gonna go ahead and say he does because I heard it was a laceration on his hand, which I would guess they just left him out last week thinking they have Okie State on deck. I mean, this is literally these are the 2 top teams in the Big 12. It's them 2 and Kansas State. They're 12, 13, 14, right? So it is a huge game. It's all on the road. Utah wins this game. They're the favorite to win the conference. So I'm gonna take Utah. I saw this last night. Okie State was favored by 3 when this opened, and it doesn't show it on here, but it's now Utah 1.5. So this flipped by 4.5 points, given through 0. But
thinking that Rising is going to play.
That's probably exactly it. Give me Utah by a touchdown. Vanderbilt at Missouri. I know it's a 20.5 point spread, but
I think Vandy can keep it. So I don't think they're going to get blown out of the water. I think it's a close game.
I think they'll hang in there. I'll take Missouri. Okay, TCU at SMU.
I've been waiting for the Pony Express to wake up. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'll take TCU.
100% TCU. And like I said, we're going to get into that game.
Oh, here's a fun upset for you. I am taking.
You're taking UTEP.
UTEP.
I knew you were going to take UTEP.
Because I didn't even know who they were playing.
I didn't either, but Colorado State's
I'm looking.
awful.
Colorado State's awful, and UTEP's not any good either. But they're definitely not any good. But especially coming off that loss to Colorado, that was Colorado State's Super Bowl, and
100%.
Those guys I think are going to quit on the season. Now it could be. I just think it's going to be a close game. UTEP's getting 9.5 points, but I'll just say they're going to. Because I'm not betting anyway, so I'm just going to say they're going to win the game.
Sure. Did you see Colorado State's quarterback go try to shake Shedur's hand and he said, "You can't fuck with me"?
All those guys are
they're fucking idiots. Shadur Sanders is a fucking idiot, and I would never ever. I was thinking a couple weeks ago, he's really talented. I would like to draft him. If I wouldn't mind taking him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I would never draft that kid. I would never. After watching him the last couple weeks, y'all got run off the field by Nebraska, who hadn't been ranked in 20 years. Okay, shut your fucking mouth. And Dion is that is the biggest shit show. I don't even know what to say about it. It just looks like traveling circus over there, like a traveling cocaine circus is what it looks like. I'm just so sick of Colorado. I hope Baylor beats the living shit out of them this week.
Sucks. It's gonna be tough.
We're gonna come back to that in a second. Miami at South Florida. I'm telling you, this is a better game than people think.
Close game.
South Florida's really good.
Miami wins by 7. Close game.
South Florida flirts with an upset in this game, but Miami wins it by 3. Game-winning field goal. It's in South Florida. Northwestern at Washington.
I want to pick Northwestern, but I'll take Washington.
Give me Washington too, but it's going to be a close game. Cal at Florida State. Florida State, will they go 0-4?
Yes, Cal.
I'm going to take Florida State. Florida State's going to finally get a win here.
Sucker.
I can't. Look, it's at Florida State. I can't take Cal to win back-to-back road upsets.
3-0 Cal, thinking that this is this is their 3-0, going to keep it going, playing with all the confidence in the world versus a team that's quit. Give me Cal.
Mike Norvell rallies the troops, baby.
No, he doesn't.
He rallies the troops.
Unless he's taking their paychecks from them.
I can't believe they're favored by 2 here. I thought it would be at least a pick 'em. If not, they'd be a dog. Yeah, give me Florida State here. I'm curious to see where this line goes. Let's see. For shits and gigs, since we're what are they? Are we Wildcats?
Bearcats.
Sorry.
Please.
Sorry, Bearcats.
Yes,
New Mexico State at Sam Houston State.
Sam Houston State is going to destroy New Mexico State.
I agree. Give me Sam Houston State. Your Wyoming Cowboys are 0-3, and they are 9.5-point dogs at North Texas.
This is what happens, folks, when you lose a good, hard-nosed football coach. He leaves, the program turns to shit. We need somebody up there. Hopefully, when Josh Allen retires, he decides he wants to come home and coach the Wyoming Cowboys.
Oh, that would be so legendary.
I'm going to take North Texas.
I would love to see that. Yeah, give me North Texas. Okay, probably the game of the week. Tennessee Volunteers traveling to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Sooners.
It's funny because I was like, oh, man, they're 7.5. I think Tennessee wins this one by 2 touchdowns.
Really?
14. I just think I think they have so much firepower. Like you said, Oklahoma hadn't looked that good. And maybe I'm an idiot. I know Tennessee's played nobody. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to say Tennessee by 10, not quite 14. I think they're going to win by 7, though.
You know, a lot of people in that Tennessee-NC State game, I think the public was all over NC State, like a ranked team catching more than a touchdown, and they got their doors blown off. And now Tennessee's in the same spot. This one's a true road game, though. And I think the public's going to be all over Tennessee in this one. I actually think, Tennessee's going to win the game. Tennessee's going to win the game. Like you said, Oklahoma's not a tough place to play relative to other big college football venues. I just have a hard time believing a guy who has never played in the FBS and all of a sudden he's a starting quarterback, as good as Tennessee's offense look. I have a hard time believing he's going to go into still a hostile environment and put up 50 points. And in which case, I don't know what Tennessee's defense is. They haven't played a legitimate offense yet. Not that Oklahoma's been great by any means, but they're better than anything Tennessee's seen. And as bad as Oklahoma's looked, they have had a couple of their star wide receivers out. So if those guys play, I could see this being a very tight game. I could see Oklahoma losing by a field goal. I'm going to take Tennessee, but I'm going to say it's going to be by 6. It's going to be close. Oklahoma's going to cover. We're not going to pick A&M Bowling Green. Let's see. Oh, here's the Slobberknocker game of the week right here. Iowa taking on Minnesota. Total 36.5, baby. Iowa's a 2.5-point favorite.
Final score of 13-10 Minnesota.
13-10 Minnesota. That's way too much credit for like a normal score there. There's going to be 3 safeties.
There might be a safety. It could be like 15-12. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be Minnesota by whoever wins this game, it's going to be by 3 points or less.
Iowa 8-6. They win, do not cover.
Like it.
As Corso says, win, no cover. Win, no cover. Oh, dude, by the way, Corso, it's like, you know how a big dog, you say you're fluent in big dog when he sends you a text? The only guy fluent in Corso is Kirk Herbstreit.
I know. He's like, I know what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I'm going to take and Kirk's like, yep, I agree with you, coach.
How dare you?
I mean, he's having
take
a
a
stroke.
shot
He's having a mini, like as my dad says.
Corso.
Big Dog's take of the week, by the way. It's like a take of the year. Dak Prescott has mini strokes on the sideline, but Corso's having mini strokes with his tongue when he's trying to talk.
Poor guy.
I love Corso. I'm not making fun of him. I am making fun of him, but great dude, a big fan. I got a new sticker on my computer. It says it's game day and it's Corso. You see it?
Oh yeah,
it's game day. Yeah, I got Lee Corso. I'm getting a signed Lee Corso picture for the podcast room.
Lee Corso.
By the way, I forgot to even mention this on the regular podcast. I didn't bring my Emma Navarro signed tennis ball.
This is a football pick'em
My
show.
Emma Navarro.
We're not talking about your
ball.
Emma Navarro signed tennis
I love
ball.
you, Emma. All right, moving on. Iowa wins this game by 8-6. Slobberknocker game of the week. Texas is going to kill Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
My Horns. We have to always pick the Texas Longhorns. Here we go. Michigan State at Boston College.
Boston College by a field goal. Close game.
Boston College by 6. Baylor at Colorado.
Give me Baylor. I'm just not picking Colorado.
Give me Baylor.
I don't think Baylor's any good.
I don't think Baylor's good either, but I just hate Colorado. I'm going to pick against them every single week.
I just don't think they're going to do it. Another fun one down here is we're going to skip those next two.
Yeah, there's only like
how many touchdowns will Genty score against Portland State? We're on the Barry Sanders watch.
Okay, Barry Sanders watch list.
I think he's going to score 5.
I'm going to say 6. I think he's going to match the 1 because I think they're going to let him go.
They should. I mean, like, if I was him, is he a senior or what is he?
I think he's a senior.
I'm like, Coach, you're leaving me in the game. I'm trying to set that record, right?
He has 9. There's 10 games left in the regular season, so he needs 37. So he needs 28 more to tie the record. 29 to. So he needs to average about 3. So if he gets 6 in this one, that would go a long way. He had 6 against Georgia Southern, 3 against Oregon. And he's coming off a bye, so he's feeling good. He's a junior, but he's going pro after this for sure. After this year, he'll be the top running back taken off the board without a doubt. I'm gonna say he scores 6. You're saying 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last game of the week.
What is it again? BYU, Kansas State.
BYU. You're gonna hate this. Mormon Magic.
No way.
BYU wins by 3.
No way. You're wrong. I like upsets. This one, there's no shot. BYU already pulled their upset over SMU, who's terrible. Kansas State figured it out last week. I know this isn't in Manhattan, but you can pull out all the Mormon magic you want.
Avery's going to throw 2 picks.
Avery ran the clock out of the first half and almost cost me my bet.
Kansas State should have lost to Tulane. I think Arizona sucks. I picked Kansas State to win the Big 12, I believe.
Did I.
So, but this game just stinks. My whole thing with it is I just think it's going to be close either way.
Sure.
Kansas State might just you could be right. If they did figure it out last week, but BYU always plays hard I always forget the head coach's name. I love him. He was at training
Kalani
camp.
Satake.
Yeah, Kalani Satake.
He's a bum.
He was at training camp with Trey and the Falcons.
Was he really?
Yeah. And he's just the nicest guy in
I
the
take
world.
it back. I'll try to get him on the show.
Now, is he...
I love Kalani Satake.
Now he's a little... He makes some crazy decisions, but whatever. But yeah. Anyway, I'll take, for fun, BYU by a field goal there.
All right. I'll take Kansas State by touchdown. They'll push that bet. Okay. Last little segment. We already did your Underdog of the week. We did the Survivor League special.
Get your best bets out.
Give my best bets. So again, as I said last week, like these are my early week bets. I'll put on the screen what I went last week and I'll keep track of them. But if you want my official plays that I release, I post them on my website. I'll put it in the description below, DylanLeakSports.com. I try to do some video breakdowns. Haven't been able to do them the last couple weeks, but I will. So again, early week bets, usually 50% of these end up staying and 50% of these end up going, and I mix and match. So we're going to go with number 1. This is my favorite play of the week. We both picked this team to win, and that's the TCU Horned Frogs. They're laying 2.5 at the Pony Express, SMU. This is a pure fade of SMU, okay? I watched that team play multiple times. They are horrible. Rent Lashley has that team going in the wrong direction. I don't think TCU's that great. But I watched TCU's offense move the ball up and down the field against a UCF defense that has been they're pretty highly regarded so far this year. They scored 34 points against them, had a 58-yard field goal to win the game, missed it. They were up 21 points in the game and blew it. I think they're mad about that. I think they're going to respond. And I think TCU will be able to score very easily on SMU's defense, who is worse than the UCF defense. On the flip side, SMU's offense cannot move the ball against anybody. I mean, BYU...
They haven't looked good. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know either, and I like SMU. I thought they were going to be good coming into the year. They switched quarterbacks, and the guy they've had in there is terrible. He's more of a runner than a passer. So I'm going to take TCU minus the 2.5. That's best bet number 1. I really like the Horned Frogs to win that. I would get that if you're betting, and I know this probably won't come out till Wednesday. Try to get it before it gets to 3. I think 2.5 is a good number. Let's see. Oh, my second bet, we already teased it. Georgia Tech plus the 10.5. I bet this last night. These are the 2 biggest bets I made last night. For me, I put a full unit on them, which early in the week is a lot. I usually don't do that. So I like both of these numbers. I have a feeling TCU is going to get through the 3, and I have a feeling Georgia Tech's going to get to about 9. Now, I would say I'm about 85% accurate on line moves. So I'm not 100%. This could move the other way, but I'm usually right. So we'll go Georgia Tech plus the 10.5 versus Louisville. So we got 2 road teams. We're going to then take a home team. We're going to look to Michigan plus 5.5 versus USC. We both talked about it. We both think Michigan's a live dog here. You want to sprinkle a little bit on the money line? I'm okay with that. I think you probably get plus 180 around there. Like Michigan to win this game outright in the Big House. They already lost once at home. They had won, 28 straight games in the Big House before losing to Texas. So odds of them losing 2 in a row are tough. I think people are abnormally high on USC. A lot of people are going to see that number 11 ranking next to USC and be totally fine laying less than a touchdown. I would be shocked to see this number stay at 5.5. I think this trend's closer to 4. I get it. Michigan doesn't have a very good quarterback. I get it. Nothing about Michigan screams, good this year. I'm not a Sharon Moore guy whatsoever. I'm also not a Lincoln Riley guy. Miller Moss going into a tough environment, having to cover more than a field goal. This isn't LSU on a neutral, right? LSU, like we said, ran the ball up, very effectively against USC. On the other hand, this Michigan team is going to they have a much better running back. They don't have a better offensive line, but they have a much better running back in Donovan Edwards who can hit the home run ball. I think Michigan gets up early, leans on the run game, and wins this game outright. Take the 5.5 to be safe. This is going to close closer to 4. My last one, I'm just going to give a total of the week every week.
Yeah.
And so I'm much better at sides. I'll put it that way. But I did go 2-0 on my totals this week. And so I'm going to go with Michigan State and Boston College under 46.5. This is going to close 44. Yes, it's a low number. I get it. Both these teams, it's going to be an ugly game. It's in Boston College. If you've watched Michigan State play, their quarterback cannot throw a forward pass. He can't. The only way this game goes over is pick 6 or defensive touchdown. These offenses will not score enough.
Who did Michigan State barely beat the first game by 3?
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah. So hilarious about that is I don't know if you saw the video, the receiver from Michigan State. I guess the total on that game was 48 or something. Reporters were asking him so how's the offense looking? How do you guys think? And he looks at him and goes, "All I can tell you is you better be taking the over or something like that." They scored 19 or 16 points. And he said it twice. All I can say is you better be taking the over.
Oh gosh, what an idiot. Yeah. That's classic. I love it.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Yeah. Also, they're somehow 3-0. I think they're going to get smashed when they play in the Big Ten, but
as soon as they start playing somebody,
I do think that was a good hire. Jonathan Smith is a good coach. They got him from Oregon State.
Yeah.
I think in the long run they'll be fine.
I don't think he would have ever left Oregon State if they had a conference.
Oh no way! That's why he left.
That's why he's I gotta
go. Which sucks because they gutted their roster because of it too.
Yep.
It's the same thing we're talking about with Washington State on the podcast.
And although it's actually funny because Washington State and Oregon State must have had some boosters or alum
kept
pony up, because they're not neat, especially Washington State, but Oregon State's not horrendously.
They're not horrendous.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all we got for this show.
We're gonna put Big Dog's picks up, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put Big Dog's picks up.
Yep.
Hopefully, if we get our guest picker on and Wednesday, I'll throw him up here as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're working on trying to add some new segments, but we broke down pretty much every game for you guys. Gave picks on everything. Gave you guys some best bets, some Survivor League picks. Did all NFL, all college football. Had a ton of content here. So no shortage of content here on the Slobberknocker Sports Network. Hope you enjoyed our second Pick'em show as we kind of navigate through learning how to do this. And we're trying to get some more content and more videos coming out. So we'll see. Be on the lookout for that going forward. But thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck with all your bets, all your wagers, all your picks, Survivor League pools, pick 'em, whatever you got going. Enjoy college football week 4 and NFL week 3, and we'll catch you guys next week.